You've definitely heard of Cosa Nostra, the Sinaloa cartel, or the Yakuza, but those who quietly control most of Europe today, you've likely never even noticed them. They're not a classic mafia with godfathers and fancy suits. This is something else. A flexible, many-headed system with no center, no face, but with iron teeth and a hunger for power, money, and control. You're on the Paradoria channel. Today, the story of those who chose to live in the shadows, yet rule the light. Enjoy watching. On the western edge of the Balkans lies Albania, a land of ancient clans, old oaths, and blood debts. The geography itself seems made not for tourists, but for those who don't want to be found. Nearly 500 kilometers of jagged coastline, bays, ports, small towns. Each port is an open door. You can bring anything here. Fish, weapons, drugs, cars. The sea here isn't a barrier, it's a highway without traffic lights, and Albanians have learned to drive it better than anyone. But the sea is only half the story. The true heart of Albania is the mountains, wild, impregnable, covered in snow and legends. If rebels once hid in these gorges, now there are labs, armories, and cannabis fields. To understand why the mafia grew here, we must go back in history. 5 centuries under the Ottoman Empire didn't destroy the clan system. They strengthened it. Each kin, each family, like a mini-state. Its own law, its own ties, its own debts. Then came the 20th century. Albania becomes independent, but not for long. First, Italian occupation, then war. From 1944 to 1985, the country was sealed shut. Communism without an exit. The 90s, chaos. Economic collapse, pyramid schemes, armed uprisings. The state ceased to exist. Warehouses were looted, streets flooded with automatic rifles. People who lost their savings picked up weapons. From this chaos, the mafia rose, armed, hungry, and ruthless. The Albanian Mafia isn't like the classic Italian pyramid. It's not Cosa Nostra, nor the Yakuza. It's a network of autonomous clans bound by blood and a code. That code is called Besa, an oath of silence and honor. Break it, and you die. Each clan has a leader, a triatar, under him, the inner circle, sons, nephews, brothers. Below, the soldiers. You can join a clan only by blood, or if you've proven loyalty, with blood. There are also those who aren't family, but stand close. They're held by money, fear, or profit. Officials, businessmen, lawyers. Above it all, kanun, the ancient law. If you've been insulted, you must avenge. Can't do it. You're not a man. That law is older than any state. In the 70s, 90s, Albanians worked for Italians, Russians, Irish. They were hitmen, couriers, enforcers. They learned from the best and went their own way. Built their own routes, their own contacts, their own channels. First, heroin. But the true revolution was cocaine. Albanians established direct ties with Latin American cartels, without middlemen. Their own companies, their own boats, their own jets. The main structure, Bello Company. The name sounds harmless, almost like a clothing brand. In reality, it's a criminal Amazon, only instead of goods, drugs, murders, and millions in black bags. At the top, Dritan Rexepi, nickname Giuliano. For almost 30 years, he was a ghost, rumored dead, arrested. Yet he kept reappearing. His network stretched from Ecuador to Milan. Containers with fruit, shell companies in Greece, Belgium, the Netherlands. In 2019, 4 bodies were found in Belgium, neatly folded inside containers. It wasn't murder, it was a warning. Don't touch our route, or you'll become part of the cargo. Other names are no less notorious. Prince Dobroshi, a drug lord under the cover of the Kosovo army. He controlled heroin supplies from Turkey to Scandinavia. When he was arrested in Norway, he simply bribed the guards and escaped. And then, Arben Krasniqi, the King of Rotterdam. In 2022, his group was transporting up to 30 tons of cocaine a year. Their scheme was almost genius in its simplicity. Instead of direct shipping, a network of small companies, each doing legal imports. One container, bananas. Second, pineapples. Third, death. Cannabis is grown right in Albania. Synthetics go through Belgium and the Netherlands. Weapons, still flowing non-stop since the 90s. Today, Albanians are no longer in basements. They're in penthouses. In Milan, for example, they pushed Italians out of the prostitution and club business. In Rome, they control illegal casinos. In London, almost untouchable. Police can't prove guilt, mutual protection, family ties, fear. They control much of the sex industry in Eastern Europe. They even attempted to kidnap David Beckham's wife, Victoria. That episode revealed not just their madness, but their confidence. They can do anything. In the USA, the same story. New York, the Bronx, Manhattan. Albanians are pushing out Italians and Greeks. In 2004, the FBI carried out its largest operation against them, the Alex Ruda crew. 22 people, charges of drugs, murders. But the network survived. Money flowed into real estate, restaurants, hotels. Part of Manhattan and the Bronx already belongs to them. Their influence can be traced even in Switzerland, where Albanian clans control part of the illegal arms market. In Germany, the Balkan Bikers, a gang operating under the cover of a motorcycle club linked to human trafficking. Today, Albanian groups have everything: money, power, and connections. They collaborate with Colombian cartels, Turkish barons, remnants of the Italian Mafia. These are no longer gangs. These are transnational corporations of the criminal world, and defeating them is nearly impossible. Language barriers, encryption, the code of silence, all make them invisible. Try to plant an agent, chances are zero. Albanians never trust outsiders. And even if someone starts talking, they won't leave alive. Sometimes major arrests happen. In 2024, in Elbasan, a group of hitmen operating across Europe was arrested. But it's just a drop in the ocean. Because while government agencies argue over who's responsible for the fight, the Albanian Mafia is becoming something greater, a subculture. Young fighters from London's Hells shoot music videos, pose with weapons, rap, post clips on TikTok. This is a new kind of crime. Glamorous, confident, fearless. They wear Rolexes, and under their videos, hundreds of comments. Shqiptars, power. Albania, a country where the clan is still greater than the state. And as long as this code lives, the mafia won't disappear. That was the story of the Albanian Mafia, the most dangerous criminal organization in Europe. And yes, if you think you're safe, perhaps you're just not looking in the right direction. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us what you think in the comments. See you next time.